Hello. I'm very, very late today, but I had to come today. Back at Susan Templeman, MP, Minister for, what's it for? Minister for Macquarie, Federal Minister for Macquarie, which includes the Blue Mountains and out west Sydney. Sort of bad Canberra Lee. So it's very late, they're probably not even here. Oh, get some lights. Lights. We'll have a camera of action. That's my sign for the day. Oh, I didn't bring my notes, so I'm going to forget everything. Yeah, got to start talking while Susan's here. Yeah, Susan Templeman, Federal Member for Macquarie. I've got some special news to tell her today. Special day today, Susan. One of your constituents is in hospital getting hysterectomy for vaccine injury. And she didn't want to take the vaccine. She was trying to organise a group to stand up against the tyranny of our government. So she was 100% coerced into having that vaccine, and now she's in hospital. And what's the biggest compensation? $20,000 for a ruined life. How's it feel, but Susan? War criminal. Crimes against humanity. You're full on guilty, Susan. We tried to warn you, we tried to stop it, we know what's going on. We know the pharmaceutical industry is a bunch of crooks. And for you to comply to the pharmaceutical industry means you're a crook as well. It's not like you didn't have warnings. There's plenty of smart doctors that aren't getting paid and bribed by Big Pharma. Yep, put your earplugs in. Cover your eyes, cover your ears. Hear no evil, see no evil, hey? Is that how it goes, Susan? See no evil, hear no evil, then you're not guilty? Sorry, Susan, that's not the way it works. Maybe when you're reading your imaginary books or at your fictitious labour meetings with your caucus, your global caucus, following instructions from your global leaders. I know, Maru. I usually try and get here by 12:30. I had some troubles getting here, but I had to come today. Usually get half an hour now. I've got about 5 minutes today. But I had to do it, better than nothing. So it's no wonder, Susan, why you want to silence the truth. Was it ACMA, giving ACMA the powers to censor the internet? As long as it's not government propaganda, that's allowed to stay, eh, Susan? Damn well, a lot of people believe the government propaganda because they still actually can't believe that people in such high positions could be so evil and corrupted. They still think Australia's government isn't corrupted. Well, that's all going to change really quick, Susan. Tick-tock, your time's up. Your time's counting down real quick, Susan. There's people all around the world revealing the truth of what's been going on. You can't hide it. I'm sure my neighbour in hospital right now getting recovering from her hysterectomy from her vaccine damage. Sure, she'll be quite happy to testify against you, Susan. Go read your Nuremberg Code. You haven't got out anything, Susan. You can't put the blame on anyone else. You can't say you weren't in government at the time either. If you weren't in government, then give your money back for the last few years when you weren't in government.
How you going?
All right. I've had lots of practice in Canberra.
I'm willing to listen to what
Oh, I'm sort of running out. It's just this ACMA, like this. Oh,
Can you give me an idea?
well, that one's about is the government. They've got the new. They're trying to pass and modify the communications bill, so they'll give powers to a group called ACMA, which is like communications committee or something like that. They can go in and censor the internet. So, but they'll do it by. They'll go to like YouTube or something. And say, look, if you hear any of this sort of content that's misinformation or disinformation, and if you allow that on your channels, if your corporation allows that to go ahead, then you'll be up for $500 million fines. So that's how they're doing it. So they, instead of yeah, but that's what they're up to. So
I don't think Susan Templemans up there. I don't know her.
I know
she went home at 2 o'clock.
I know. I blame her. No, she'll be going home now.
She went home at 2 o'clock.
I know, man. That's all right. I don't expect her to be here.
I've got nothing to do with it. I'm a brickie, mate.
Yeah.
I just happened to see her. First time I ever seen her in my life.
Oh,
She went
right.
home at 2 o'clock.
I rang up Trish Doyle's office one day, and actually Trish Doyle actually answered the phone. Like up in the blue, she's up in the mountains.
She went home at 2 o'clock. First time I ever seen her in my life.
Yeah.
It's my ex-wife that voted for her and everything and said to get stuff done.
Yeah, we voted for her once, yeah.
But mate, I'm willing to listen to what you got to say, but what you said was a bit extreme. You don't have to buy me.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? Censorship of the internet, or
Yeah, like, because...
someone's behind the counter? They should be making phone calls, eh?
That's right, that's right.
That's what you're going for.
They got the side door, they can escape on what it is.
Mate, this is like protesting in a legal way.
Yeah. No, you're allowed to, they can't stop me doing this, yeah.
Yeah, of course they can't, mate. You know, you're not... Because they have passed a few laws that are stopping the people trying to say anything about anything.
Yes. Well, that's a part of it. That's the ACMA one, that's a part of it, yeah. But the government can say anything.
ACM,
I think it's ACMA, yeah, I think that's what it is.
good on you for having a go.
Yeah, I just stir them up, like give them something to think about for the weekend.
Mate, you know what I want to stir up about?
Because there's a, oh, sorry, yeah.
You go. Enjoy it,
Oh, no, see, yeah, it is ACMA, yeah, protest. Because they're doing like protests in the city right now.
Are they?
Well, I couldn't get there.
I don't know. So I don't watch television anymore. I can't take it. I can't take watching a commercial for kids starving on the other side of the world, legitimately starving on the other side of the world, and then the next thing I see is a hot dog eating competition. But you know what? Carry on about this. I've got two things I carry on about. One is I think every child under 16 should travel on public transport for free.
Yeah.
Why should an empty bus drive past some 16 or 14 or 13-year-old in the pitch black who's walking up the Groswell? Why shouldn't he be able to get on the bus for free?
Yeah.
And I don't even know what my second point is because
No,
I've already
that.
riled up so much about that.
Yeah.
Why should not in Australia? No.
Yes, that's a good idea.
My other
if I was
one,
MP, I'd be straight up there like, let's do it.
you know what my other one is? It's way out there.
Yeah.
This one's way out there. That one's not.
Yeah.
I think any child under 16, if you had a kid, you think that some empty bus is driving past them while they're walking home in the pitch black, and I don't care if they've got bad parents, good parents, I don't care if they're delinquents, I don't care if they're good kids, but they're under 16, there's an empty bus driving past them with some guy saying you can't get on because you haven't got the bus set. That's a big one for me. I've got too much of a criminal record to do anything about it. But my other one is, which is way out there, this gives you something to think about. I think everybody in Australia should get a free block of land. Last time I looked around, there was plenty of land. There was plenty of land.
Have you heard about that?
Why should my parents spend their whole life paying off a house and not have time to feed into their children because they're paying off a mortgage to buy a little tiny block of dirt. 2,000 years ago, nobody owned land. 1,000 years ago, nobody owned land. 2,000 years ago, nobody worked. There was no such thing as work. You done what you had to do. 1,000 years ago, there was no land ownership. It was a group, whatever it was. But now I've got two beautiful people who are my parents who spent their whole life, because they come from bad whatever, their whole life saving up and paying off a mortgage, their whole life for a piece of dirt. Last time I looked around Australia, mate, there was plenty of land, and I don't care about infrastructure or this or that, but I think every child in under 16 should travel on public transport for free, regardless of their situation.
Yeah, even the
Well, they
mortgage.
carry on about children and all this shit. Why shouldn't any child in Australia be able to jump on one of these empty trains and empty buses?
Easy enough to do, yeah.
Because we're not all living in cities, some of them are walking 9 kilometres home in the pitch black because they haven't got $2.20 or because they're too shy or they're too embarrassed.
And you know, well, I've just got a thought on the houses. So one of the things I don't like is the bank.
Housing's terrible.
Yeah, but it's the banks as well, because
It's all the banks.
they actually print the money to give you money for the
No,
house
the
anyway.
fact the bank prints the money,
Yeah.
the bank's lending it out,
Yeah.
right? And they're going, I'm a bank, I'm worth this much money.
Yeah,
Borrow $100,000 off me, and they just turn around to the federal bank and go, I'm worth $100,000 extra.
Yeah.
Now print me up some more money.
That's it, yeah. That's exactly it. And then all interest, but if there's meant to be a Commonwealth Bank, so how about which has been sold off to
And, you know, and the federal bank, look, when the bank turns around and says, I'm a business, I'm worth $5,000, right? So what I'm doing, I'm worth $5,000. What they do is they say, does anyone want to borrow $1,000? This person says yes, because they're desperate. So I'm worth $6,000 now. They turn around to the federal bank and go, print me up another $1,000 because I'm worth $6,000 now. But there's supposed to be gold representing that. No one's looked in Fort Knox in America for 40 years. No one has actually looked at what the gold is. Bring it down. Why should not? Have you got children?
No, I don't.
Mate,
No, I got it.
well,
No,
if you ever have
not
a
yet.
fucking child, you know what I'm talking about. This is the most special, unbelievable feeling, right? And why should not any child in Australia under 16, regardless of their situation, travel, be able to get home, whether they've done this or done that, mate? I'll talk to you.
No, he's not.
Can you put that down the bottom there? Because I haven't got the balls to do it before. Can you put down the bottom every child under 16 to travel for free in Australia? Like, I just haven't got the balls to do it. You know, when a list believes they're not credible.
That's sad, isn't it?
That is sad. It's worse than sad. It drives me mental. And you have children who understand.
Yeah.
Why should not any person understand? They tell me about all these children's rights and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're stripping kids off fathers, and they're stripping them off mothers, and they're doing all. You've got some guy, whether it's an Indian or another, driving past in an empty bus, past a 14-year-old child who's got 6 kilometres to walk in the pitch black. They're getting hit by cars. They're not going to care how bad their parents are. They're under 16, mate. Talking about getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no one on the train. Just get down the bottom floor here.
Come right up.
Okie dokie. I should have told him, I could have told him about A1A. Alright, that's it for the day, hey? Hey, Michael Brown. Hello. Yeah, I got here really late. I'd usually still be going, but yeah, back at St. Susan's office, just gave her a bit of a blast. Got here really late, only had about 5 to 10 minutes.
We love you,
Hey, Sean.
Susie!
Some guy supporting everything the Labor government's doing. Yeah, Mike, the news today is just like, my neighbour, well, she's pretty much my sister-in-law, She's got a hysterectomy today because she's been bleeding non-stop because of the you-know-what. And that was the second thing besides her stroke that's paralysed one of her arms. So I had to come today just to get that off my chest, even if I was late. Just let Susan know one of her constituents is in hospital with side effects from the so that you know what, I've already said enough to get this video banned anyway. Is this Brazil? That's a funny comment. Is this Brazil? Is that because of the bloke yelling out for Susan? No, this is Western Sydney, Australia. How is Brazil going though? Hey, like I've heard nothing. That's been just radio silence. Last thing I heard from Brazil was everyone was getting locked up in a shed, all the protesters, and getting arrested, and yeah, and that's it. That's the last I heard. That was a couple of months ago. But yeah, not very cool. But if I was a foreign minister, I'd be like making inquiries into that. It sounds like I should run for politics. All right. Just, okay. Oh no. Terrible Sharon. Yeah, I know. I was doing the course at the beginning of all the jabs, and she took one, and she had she was pregnant at the time, and her baby came out a bit too early, and so over. But there's been a few there's been a few babies around my area though, so haven't heard any of the bad news on my side of town. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. Just had emergency surgery too. Yeah, I actually rang up the I was reading about the getting compensation, or like registering a vaccine injury today, and the lady on the phone was really helpful. Like you ring the TGA first, and you press number 2, and you get put onto actually like a chemist, someone like that. And she was really good. So she's just saying, nope, yep. Because on the form it said, have you had a vaccine within the last month? And I went, right, well, what if it's been 3 months? Or... And she goes, no, you just suspect anything, just put the form in and I'll sort it out. Yeah, terrible Sharon, eh? Right, anyway, going to head off. I'll stop the stream. So, yeah, thanks everyone coming on, because it does help me. It's a bit scary being here by myself, but if I know you guys are watching the lives, it makes it heaps, much easier. Yep, take care, Sharon. Thank you. All right, so here's everyone.